Hey there. So this video, it's Dear MS1 Khaled. If I could go back in time and I could tell myself and talk to myself when I started med school and give myself some advice, the most important thing I would say is it's not that serious. So I want to tell you how I memorized everything in med school and how I studied during first year of med school so I could succeed. And I only got honors in one of my preclinical courses, which was MSK or MSK Anatomy, and the rest in first year I got passed with commendation. I'll try to add a screenshot in for you because I know without a screenshot it's basically a lie. So let me tell you what I did. You're gonna love this. I mean, it's seamless. It's so easy. It's like what else is there to do, you know? So I did all the assigned readings. I believed in the flipped material, flipped classroom concept where you study or review the PowerPoints before. So I would review all the PowerPoints, all the assigned readings, read all the chapter, and then I would go to class on time, of course, 30 minutes early, 20 minutes early, just to re-review the PowerPoint, make sure everything was ready, laptop charged, mouse there, extra battery, because I didn't want to miss anything. I mean, this is super important. You're a med student. You're going to be a doctor. You need to know everything. Lecture would start, and I wrote every single thing down that they said verbatim, typed it into OneNote with the PowerPoint slide, upload the PowerPoint slide to OneNote, every single thing they said. Afterwards, went up to ask questions of anything that wasn't super crystal clear. I had a question after every lecture. Often I had questions before lecture. And then I went home, reviewed the PowerPoint. And then on the weekends, this is Monday through Friday, on the weekends I spent making Anki cards for every single PowerPoint slide. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Anki cards. I didn't want to miss anything. Every single text was a potential question to me. Every single concept was a potential question. And so I basically memorized the PowerPoints through making Anki cards, and I reviewed them. I would have thousands of cards, so I would just be reviewing them constantly. Okay? Read every single chapter, assigned book, whatever, reading, anything. References? I even looked up the references sometimes. I wanted the primary literature. I mean, I'm going to be a doctor after all. This is so important, This experiment about rats and how they press the button to get a little sip of cocaine instead of water. Oh, I have to see it for myself. I have to go to PubMed. I have to go to Cell. I have to go to Nature. Oh man, I can't get the subscription. I have to log in virtually to my university portal so I can access the database. This is critical. I mean, I'm gonna be a doctor. You're a first year medical student. The wealth of knowledge that you have, I mean, it's boundless. And then, God forbid, there was a quiz on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night. I was studying all day for that quiz. I mean, it's a 10-question quiz. And what if I missed one question? What if I didn't know the artery from the brain that supplied this specific area that led to this hand movement and that decreases sensation of some random person or something? What if I didn't know? I mean, that would be unacceptable. I had to know everything. And then it's time for a test. Oh, we had tests every 3 weeks, so we're studying for tests all the time, right? So I wrote down everything. Of course, reviewing my Anki cards, constantly reviewing them, improving them, editing them. Now this should actually be harder now. So every card was going from an easy card to a harder card. Was going from recalling a little bit to recalling even more. And then I wrote everything down on a poster paper, color coded. What's the most important? All the pathways. Glycolysis, every single enzyme, enantiomers, whatever, you name it. Wasn't going to miss it. I mean, I'm going to be a doctor. And then I had this classmate. Her name was Gabby. And she sent us, we had like one of those apps, like WhatsApp, a WhatsApp group or something like that. And she sent like a survey. She was doing like a research project. How many hours a week in med school do you study? And then like what grades do you get? And it was anonymous. And everyone was putting like 40 to 50, 35, 60. I even saw 70. I put mine 90 hours a week. And then what? My grade passed with commendation, just a little bit above average. And then there was other people who had 40, 50, and they had honors. So it was like a slap in the face. You're such a loser. You're wasting your life. It's not that serious. You don't have to study that much. So many things, half of the things that you learn or that you're told to learn are not important. So what did I do? Slowed down completely. Zero Anki, zero prep. Just went to class and just paid attention for understanding. I remember this happened. First we had like intro microbio class, like above biochem, and then MSK, and then we had neurology, nephro, and then cardiology. Okay, cardiology with a mix of nephro because they're obviously related, and pulm. So it's cardio, pulm, a little bit of nephro. This was like the fourth or fifth preclinical course. That's when I slowed down. Zero pre-studying. I was sleeping. I was biking every day. I was doing something for myself. I was just hanging out. I was having fun. I was just showing up to class just to pay attention. That course, my scores dropped by 2 points. So I went from 90 hours a week to like 35, 2 point drop. Same bracket, same pass recommendation bracket. So what am I trying to tell you? Let me tell you how wild also. One of my anatomy professors, doctor, a surgeon, the beginning of our year was talking to us about like how we should manage our time, and he was like, you should treat this like a full-time job, 40 hours a week. That's how much you need to succeed. I thought 40 hours a week. What's this guy talking about? This isn't 1970 anymore. You went to med school in 1970, and the information that you had to learn was 40 hours a week. No, I was so entitled to my medical knowledge that I had to gain. I was so obsessed with being, such a great med student. I'm paying all this tuition. All this education is for me. This PowerPoint is curated for me. Well, guess what? I would look for the assigned readings. They weren't even there. And then my classmates were like, yeah, we didn't look for them. What's wrong with you? Who even does that? They scored the same, if not better. What did I learn from this recurrent failure? And what advice do I have to you starting as a med student right now in July or in August? It really just goes back to the tried and true principle. It's all about volume of questions. You need to be studying and doing questions so that if a topic comes up in class, and you can do these questions by topic, studying for USMLE and studying in general medicine, random, of questions, because that's all of your testing, all of your grade is based on questions. And you have to get good at not just going to class so you can learn the topic that's being taught, is by knowing a little bit of everything and knowing how to answer questions so that when you go to a class or you go to an in-house test and they ask you a question about a specific reading or a specific thing that they taught in class, you can use your reasoning skills and you can just use your common sense, your medical common sense to answer a question and not have to spend 3-4 hours studying the PowerPoint like I did. Because I had friends and classmates and we would share screenshots with each other, okay? So I'm not anyone who told me like, oh, I did well. I mean, what does that mean? Well could be 70 to someone, it could be 100 to someone else. We shared screenshots after every exam, and we had a breakdown. Our like exam had a breakdown of like by topic how well we did, and by PowerPoint, by like lecture. They did just as well as me. I knew they weren't studying. I knew they were sleeping in. I knew that because I would see them. Okay, so why? Because they had some innate knowledge, some intellect, some common sense, and they weren't anxious and stressed out and studying all day. So much so that by the time they get to the exam, their eyes can't even see because of how much Anki they've done all night, and their retina's burned. Okay, so if you're a med student, dear Khaled, in 2019 when you started med school, calm down. It's not that serious. Just go through the motions. Just enjoy yourself. Study in a healthy amount. Okay, show up to class for understanding. Don't ask questions. Kill your curiosity. enjoy your life.